So I hope you might have gone through all the reading material, and in this video let's discuss uh, the difference between all the three types of variable declarations and and the use cases of each of them. So before going too deep, let us understand what a variable scope is. So in JavaScript there are three types of scope. One is the global scope, one is function scope, and one is block scope. Anything is which is declared outside curly braces, for example in if statements or while loops or for loops, and anything which is declared outside the function, it comes in the global scope. And anything which is declared in the global scope is accessible throughout the code base. Second is the function scope. Anything which is declared inside a function declaration, it has a function scope, and it is only accessible inside that function. The third is the block scope, which I mentioned earlier. Anything declared inside while loop, for loop, if statements, which is enclosed in these curly braces, that comes inside a block scope. Let us see what is the difference between a const and a let declaration. So here in this example, we can see we are declaring a user using let. So let user is a let user equal to test user, and in the next line we are mutating it to a new value which is new user. And in JavaScript this is possible. So this is mutable. Let is mutable, but in the second case we are trying to mutate the value of a constant that is that is declared using the keyword const. It throws an error. So here we can see that let is mutable but const is immutable. This is the major difference. Second thing, suppose we are trying to declare a variable let fruit equal to apple, and inside the function we are trying to redeclare it let fruit equal to mango, and we are trying to console log both of these variables. We can see inside the function the value is mango, and outside the function the value is apple. So this works the same for const also, and this is because we can redeclare these variables inside their own independent scope. We can't redeclare these variables inside the same scope, but here this function has its own function scope, so we can redeclare this fruit as mango, and outside this function is the global scope. Redeclaring is using the let keyword before the variable name. So we could have done fruit equal to mango here for let, that would also work, but what we are trying to do is we are declaring this variable again. So that redeclaration in independent scope is available in both the cases. There is another keyword called as var, which was used earlier. So let is the latest keyword, which in variable declaration, initially only var was there. So var and const was there. So here we can see if we are trying to declare a var inside a function, var fruit equal to apple, and accessing it outside the outside the function scope, it will throw an error just like const and let. So var has its restriction in function scope, just like const and let. So then what is the difference? Let us look at the issue with var. So the issue comes when we are trying to restrict the variable using the var declaration in a block scope, or we are trying to restrict it inside the curly braces. So that doesn't happen here. So here we can see var fruit is apple. Inside some if condition, we are trying to redeclare it with var fruit is mango, and outside the condition, outside the block scope, if we are trying to console log the fruit, we are seeing that it will be mango. So unlike let and const, we are seeing that it is getting overridden. That is because there is no such boundary of block scope in var, and thus it will have a global scope if we are doing any mutations or changes inside a block scope. So what is the main issue here? So if we try to change a global variable here, which is declared inside a block scope, it will be affecting the whole code base. So suppose in some code you are uh, trying to mutate a token, authentication token, inside some block scope, which is used all over the code base, and that value is really important, but you are mutating it inside a block scope. That would affect your whole code base, and that is why we don't use var. Next thing we have to look at is hoisting of variables. So what is hoisting? Hoisting is a mechanism in JavaScript where variables and function declarations are moved on top of their block scope, of their scope, before the code execution. So let us look at what hoisting in var is. So in this case, if we see, so the left hand side is the code actually written, and the right hand side, it is actually how it is interpreted. So here we are trying to access fruit before its declaration, but because of the hoisting mechanism, this var fruit is actually declared above var fruit, and then it is equivalent to accessing it and then initializing it. So var variables are hoisted to the top of their scope and initialized with value undefined. So here if we are console logging the value of fruit, it will be undefined. But this is not the case with let and const. Yes, hoisting works, but initialization doesn't work there. Just like where, let declarations are hoisted to the top, let and const declarations. Unlike where, which is initialized as undefined, the let keyword is not initialized. It will throw a reference error if you try to access it. So in this case, it will show a reference error. Variable is not defined. It is declared, but it is not defined yet. So these are the main differences between let, const, and where. A bonus section for you guys. What is IIFE and why do we use them? So this is some kind of expression which IIFE has. So you guys have to think about it. I'll give you a head start. IIF is basically immediately invoked function expressions. And why do we need them? You guys have to find out.